from 19, in 20, and almost going 4 decades. I've never looked back. And I thank him for that. So it's a long time in it. And I'll be talking to you from experience, from scripture, because as you will see here in 1 Corinthians. As you can see that at 1 Corinthians 2:1, I like this about Paul. Someone I connect with a lot. Talks about his purpose, his call. God said to him, I've showed you what you will suffer from me. Get on with it, son. And when trouble comes and they tell him, Paul, your next city, in Acts 20:24, your next city, there's prison and hardship awaiting you. And Paul says, I care nothing for my life other than to finish the race and complete the task that Jesus has given me. How does a man get to the place like that? That they're about to beat you up, mess you up, do all of that, and you're still talking boldly. I'll get to that later. But you can see from here, for I determined not to know anything among you save Jesus Christ and him crucified. And my speech and my preaching was not enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of spirit and of power. Friends, in purpose and calling, it's about a lot of transfer of information. God is calling you and using you to engage people, to communicate in different ways. There will be a lot of communication. Just like this week, there's been a lot of information transfer. But the information transfer becomes useless if you don't communicate, if you don't transfer power. And what is power? The ability to influence. Everything you've got is about you going to where God has placed you now and influencing. You have to step out there now, in whatever place it is. You have no time to be competing with anybody because God has not called you to compete, but to complete. And just get on with it. Be great and be excellent and in your communication. Carry yourself well, but make sure you also transfer what? Power. Very important. I learned that very quickly at age 20 in ministry because I saw a lot of prominence. But I did not see influence. And at times in this journey, a lot of people pursue prominence, but not influence. An idiot can be prominent. A weak person can be prominent, but influence is another level. But I've learned that when you are influential, prominence follows you. I start with that and I say to you, you as a Christian, you are called according to God's purpose. And there's only one purpose, God's purpose. And it gives us a part to partake in it. As it were, whatever part it is, that is what you are called to do. It's your purpose in life. This world is full of purpose. And what accompanies it is all distinct from the call. You are the called, with the calling and the giftings. And those calling and giftings are essential, but you are the key. Gifted to fulfill a calling. And you need to take responsibility for it. Own it yourself, but remember, you cannot fulfill it on your own. Almost 4 decades, I know you can't do it on your own. It was given to you regardless. What will take you into heaven is the person that you are. The character, the fruit. Who are you? In this purpose and calling, you must know how to differentiate both things. And be careful not to get so carried away about the gift that you are not nurturing your character. I'll give you about 4 headings. There is always a season and a time and a space to any calling. And that's why you will see in the first 3 verses there, it talks about the time and the era of this situation, of this purpose and calling. So you must remember that for whatever purpose and calling God has given you, there is a season, there is a time, and a space. And you must be so focused, you can't afford to miss it. You can't afford to miss it. They're ever learning, but they're never coming to the knowledge of what? Truth. I got so upset once I sat with some people who were so intellectual, and they were trying to explain to me the whole issue about gender and sexuality and trying to confuse it and complicate it. I had to just say to them, I said, it's painful that in our generation, We seem to be the ones with more knowledge. We are forever learning. And I said to them, it seems to me that the more intelligent we are, the dumber we get. Oh. Even Jesus said to the disciples, who do you say? Who am I? He's asking, because if they don't know who he is, they'll struggle. And same thing goes for you. You must understand, who am I, Lord? You cannot accomplish what you lack, and you cannot lack what you don't have to accomplish. But I'm not defined by my family. I am part of the Omoba family. I can identify with it, but I'm defined by God. Many of you are the sons of Issachar to fulfill Romans 8:19. For such unprecedented times like this, you need to step up to it. You need to move from just wanting to conform to transform. You are the womb. There was a connectivity. That's why I said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before you came out, I had sanctified and ordained you. He knows the whole journey. I like when one of us, in our Monday prayers, one of the staff gave us a message on God, who I think it was Belgium, God who knows the end from the beginning. That's powerful in purpose and calling. You must always remember he knows the end of you right from the beginning. There's only one purpose, it's God's purpose. How am I going through this? He must channel me somewhere. Because as you read in Romans 8, all things work together for good. The unusual ones, you have to take time to look. Cornelius' unusual destiny helpers were the poor people on the street. And his prayers. This man did not know Jesus. And he will call to this God he doesn't know. Pray lifespan for your purpose and calling. Don't sit back and think you have all your life. You don't. There's an urgency. There's an urgency. There's an urgency. And let me say to you that success to God is just complete it. Not the positions within it, not who you are competing with. Only those who endure to the end shall be saved once you have completed it. He has called us to complement one another in your purpose and calling as fellow Christians. I must say this to you. God does not call his children to compete with one another. This is a big problem in purpose and calling. God will never call us into his only purpose and ask me to compete with you. This is one of the problems we have today.